And we are back. It is day 11 of the Nations League. It is England once again today, so another opportunity to depress me with another bad performance. But it is a chance for revenge against the team that beat us in the Euros final, the game that I still haven't properly gotten over yet. So hopefully we get a good result against the Italians today to put me in a really good mood. But so far it remains to be seen. As for last night, I was able to watch the Austria-France game, and another fantastic performance from the Austrians. Rather disappointing for me as a Manchester United fan, as once again I got a reminder of what could have been under Ralf Rangnick when the players actually respond to what he wants to do. But I also have to say, from the moment Kylian Mbappe stepped on the pitch for France with 20 minutes to go, he was by far the best player on the pitch, like comfortably. A phenomenal individual goal to get the French level, and then almost another phenomenal individual goal to put France ahead, but unfortunately for him it was saved onto the crossbar, meaning that it ended in a draw, and France now sit bottom of their Nations League group with just 2 points at the halfway mark. So lots of work for them to do if they are going to defend their Nations League crown. How much they particularly care, we'll see probably in the final game if they go for it. I don't think they'll be happy with relegation though, so I think the French will step it up in the last game and look ahead to their games in September. But for now, we will step into our usual process. We'll run through the rest of the games from last night and then look ahead to a full day of Nations League action. 10 games from, I think, 4-5 different groups today. And let's get into it. So, drop a like if you enjoy this series. Let's have a look at Matchday 10's results. So, these were the games and these were the results. Not too many complaints, even though I've not done particularly well. I did say Latvia were probably the favourites yesterday, but I just had a feeling it was going to be a draw. It didn't happen, but lots of goals in that one. So, fair play for the entertainment value that those two put on. Similarly, I just had a little feeling on Kazakhstan. Didn't quite happen. They were the better team on the stats. It just didn't quite happen for them there. Israel-Albania was a bit of a toss-up as well. I just felt Albania were probably the slight favourites being the home team, so no complaints on that one. And Denmark-Croatia. Again, I said yesterday I went for Denmark purely because they'd won the first two games and they were at home. I thought if Croatia really went for it, they would get the result, and it turned out to be the case. Slightly disappointed about the other three, though. Obviously, getting a draw is always a tough one to get, and to be one goal off on the other two is a shame, but it is what it is. Leads my match day score at 3 for the day, and brings my tournament score up to 49. I was targeting 50 for 10 games, but it is what it is. 1 point off the target isn't too bad for now. As always, please let me know down in the comments how you're getting on, and let's look ahead to to match day 11 of the Nations League. Here we go. So, if I just move my camera down, we have 10 games today. We start with League C. It is the Faroe Islands against Lithuania first off, and I actually think this is a tough one to call. Faroe Islands still have this sort of reputation as they're one of the whipping boys of Europe, but they've established themselves quite well over the last few years. They've climbed the FIFA rankings substantially. And I think they're more than capable of getting the result here. I don't think they'll get the win. I still think Lithuania are a better team and the most likely to win if a side is going to win this one. But I am going to go for a 1-1 draw here. Purely because in the other fixtures, Lithuania have performed slightly better against the other two teams in the group. As for said other two teams in the group, it is the sides that have won against the other two opponents. Turkey currently the top scorers after 2 games, after 4-0 wins and 6-0 win. Luxembourg still beating Faroe Islands and Lithuania, but not by the same amount. So with that said, I think Turkey are probably the better side here. They are playing some of the best football in the whole tournament so far. So I'm going to go for them to win 3-0 here. I can't see Luxembourg getting anything out of this. I think this is just going to be another case of how many Turkey win by. So I'm just going to settle for 3 here. But we shall see. Up to League B, and we have 2 groups on show in League B, and we start with the group of Ukraine, Armenia, Ireland and Scotland. I don't think there really is going to be any other result other than a Ukraine win here. Obviously they're not at home, even though they're the home team, obviously given everything that's going on in their country at the moment, but I don't think the Armenians are going to cause too much problems for them. Ukraine have a much stronger team on paper, but have been struggling for goals over the course of both the Nations League and the World Cup qualifiers. So I'm going to go for 2-0 to Ukraine. But if they do really turn up, it wouldn't surprise me to see them win by more. As for the game between the home nations, we have Ireland against Scotland. And if it wasn't for how poorly Ireland have played in their opening two fixtures, I would definitely go for an Ireland win here. I don't think there is too much between the two sides in terms of quality, but Ireland have just massively underperformed so far, and I think Scotland have played well. Like we said, they were unlucky in their qualifier against Ukraine, and they did well against Armenia. So, kind of like with the Faroe Islands-Lithuania game, I can't really split them. I think Scotland are probably just the favourites, but I am just going to go for a 1-1 draw in this one. On to the other group in League B, and we start with Montenegro against Bosnia. And again, I think this is a hard one to call. I think this is probably the toughest day of fixtures we've had so far on the Nations League prediction series. But I'm going to go for that slight bit of extra quality on the Bosnian side in this one and just edge it as a 2-1 win for them. Again, it wouldn't surprise me to see Montenegro get a result in this one, but after the way Bosnia have played in their opening two games, I think they will do better and just about get the win. As for the other game in the group, we have the top seeds in this group, Romania, who have lost both their opening games, coming up against a Finland side who have performed reasonably well. I did predict them to win both their openers, but only have the 4 points so far. It is worth noting that Romania's opening two games have both been away from home in both their narrow defeats, so I think they've definitely got a lot more chance here today. I also said they are the highest ranked team in this group. But given the fact that they have lost both their opening games and Finland have performed well, I'm not going to give Romania the win. I'm going to go for yet another 1-1 draw. Like I said, I think it's a really, really tough day of fixtures, and probably other than the Luxembourg Turkey game so far, I think all of these games could have gone either way and will remain to be seen. Anyway, we move on to League A, and we start with what will be my main event of the evening. We have England up against Italy. And like I said at the start, it's the opportunity for revenge. The game will be played at Molineux because of all the crowd trouble we had at Wembley for the Euros final. So whether or not that will play into it, I don't think it will. It is expected that England are going to make a fair few changes for this game. I don't have any complaints about that. I think there's some players that have been deserving opportunities that haven't been given them by Gareth Southgate yet. Like Sir James Ward-Prowse, Fikayo Tomori, Tammy Abraham. I think certainly the latter two will play. We know James Ward-Prowse will play because he did the press conference yesterday. I would like to see the two players that play in Italy given the opportunity to come up against the Italian side. So I think that is what is going to happen. And I don't know. There is a part of me that thinks England are going to win today. I have a strong feeling England could win today, but then I remember Gareth Southgate's in charge, and even with all these players that are probably going to get an opportunity tonight, he's still going to have them playing his way. So they're not going to be able to fully express themselves, and because of that, I am going to go for a 1-1 draw, sadly. Obviously, I hope England win. I really want England to win. It'd be a good lift for certainly England fans and the players themselves if they can get the result over the team that beat them in the Euros, but I just don't quite see it happening tonight. So I am going to go for 1-1 there. As for the other game in the group, we have Hungary and Germany. And based on what I've seen of the two sides over the first couple of games, I think it will again be tough for the Germans. The Hungarians have a strong defensive outlook. They've played really well against England and Italy. But this is another opportunity for the Germans to get revenge. Obviously, they had their game in the Euros, which ended in 2-2. And I think they're going to want to put that right. And I think they are going to put it right. I'm going to go for 3-1 to Germany. I think it's going to be a relatively entertaining game. I think they're going to be a little bit more forceful, try and burst through Hungary. And I think if they do it once, they'll be able to do it a couple more times. But Hungary have proven themselves more than capable of getting a goal in these games so far. So I'm going to give them that one as well. As for the other group in League A, we start with Wales against Belgium. and I think this is a slightly hard one to call. Obviously, Wales put on a fantastic performance against the Dutch the other night. Thought they'd got their draw until conceding 40 seconds after the restart, after getting their equaliser. I thought the Dutch would beat them a bit more comfortably. I still think, though, the Belgian side, if they turn up like they did against Poland, they will have the ability to break through Wales enough times to get the victory. I'm going to go for 3-0 Belgium, and like I said, that is purely because they beat Poland 6-1. If it would have been like a 2-1 win against Poland, I'd probably give Wales the result here. But it seems like the Belgians got their act together last time out, so I expect them to get the win, and I'm going to go for 3-0. As for the other game, we have the Dutch up against Poland, and unfortunately for the Polish, I think this is going to be another heavy night for them. It's fully expected that Van Gaal will resort back to the team that beat Belgium. He made it quite public that he has no interest in keeping the team the same game on game. He's not very happy that UEFA are forcing sides to play 4 games in 10 days, which is fair enough. So he's already made it public that it's going to be another 11 changes tonight, which means that it will be essentially the Dutch's full first team up against the Polish. So I'm going to go for a 4-0 win for the Netherlands there. And that will be that. So, as always, I will put down in the description these fixtures so you can copy and paste them into the comments and let me know how you're getting on. Please consider subscribing if you are new around here and like what we see. I'm doing this every day at the moment and we'll be doing so again for the Women's Euros. Drop a like if you are enjoying this series, share it with a friend, ring that bell if you want to get your predictions in before anybody else, and I will see you first thing tomorrow morning for Matchday 12. Thank you very much for watching.